This visualization shows a massive gap. On one side, we have the goal of saving $100,000. On the other, we see the reality that half of Americans have less than $500 in their bank accounts. Hitting that six-figure milestone is incredibly difficult. For decades, traditional economics assumed that humans were perfectly rational calculating machines. The theory was that if you possessed the right spreadsheet and a basic understanding of math, you would automatically make the right financial choices. But that theory ignores our biology. Our brains are hardwired by evolution to seek out instant gratification. Those ancient survival instincts override modern logic, causing us to actively sabotage our own attempts to build long-term wealth. Enter Richard Thaler. He helped pioneer behavioral economics, a discipline that studies how psychology and cognitive biases affect our economic decisions. Thaler proved that these irrational biological quirks keep our bank accounts empty. Saving that first $100,000 requires winning a psychological battle against your own biology. Thaler identified a conflict inside our heads he calls the multiple selves theory. Imagine two competing versions of you. There is the planner, who wants to save for the future, and the doer, who craves an immediate dopamine hit right now. This creates a specific glitch known as present bias. Present bias is the tendency to assign greater value to payoffs that happen today over payoffs that happen in the future. In the heat of the moment, the doer consistently overpowers the planner. Richard Thaler developed Save More Tomorrow to bypass this. The system uses the power of default options to automatically increase your savings rate whenever you get a raise, capturing the money before the doer can spend it. In the real world, finance experts like Bola Sokumbi take this further. The strategy involves aggressively automating your systems so that 40 to 50% of your paycheck is routed directly into investments before it ever touches your checking account. By completely automating your savings, you weaponize your own laziness. You guarantee that wealth building happens in the background without requiring a single ounce of conscious willpower. Thaler also ran a famous experiment involving coffee mugs, revealing another cognitive glitch. He found the psychological pain we feel when losing an object is twice as intense as the joy of gaining that same object. This is a principle called loss aversion, the human tendency to prefer avoiding losses over acquiring equivalent gains. Because of loss aversion, downgrading your standard of living once you have gotten used to it feels like an unacceptable, painful loss. This chart shows exactly how that glitch plays out in our bank accounts. As income rises, you see a trailing baseline of fixed expenses creeping right up behind it. Every pay raise gets eaten by new lifestyle expenses because we refuse to step backward, leaving zero gap for savings. This is known as lifestyle inflation. Financial author Anthony O'Neill advocates for financial minimalism to combat this. It is the practice of building ruthless spending discipline and learning to live with less while your income is still low. If you freeze your baseline expenses permanently through minimalism before you start making big money, you trap that new income. It is the most effective way to prevent your biology from spending every new dollar you earn. Another major glitch is mental accounting. This is a cognitive bias where our brains irrationally divide our money into imaginary, strict buckets, labeling one chunk of cash as rent money and another as fun money, even though all dollars have the exact same mathematical value. This psychological framing creates a dangerous ceiling. It limits how we view our earning potential and tricks us into thinking our primary salary can only cover our basic survival and immediate desires. You can exploit this quirk by opening a dedicated side hustle or second income stream, specifically isolated for investment. As expert Destiny S. Harris points out, treating this secondary income stream as untouchable capital bypasses our mental accounting flaws entirely. You dramatically accelerate compound growth with money your brain never expected to spend. When you finally hit that $100,000 mark, you have empirical proof that you have successfully overridden your biological urges to spend. This exponential curve demonstrates how wealth mechanics shift past the six-figure milestone. Manual savings matter less, as compound interest does the heavy lifting. Because of this, the effort to acquire your next $100,000 is vastly lower than the first. These behavioral frameworks hold the highest levels of economic validation, earning global recognition and even Nobel Prizes. While the bank balance is significant, the most valuable gain is a permanent behavioral shield against lifestyle creep and automation failures. In the end, Lasting financial independence is built not just with money, but through the total and absolute conquest of your own mind.